Joe Orth and I are starting a podcast. What should we call it?
Hey, don't pick on me. You know why? Because this is why. Let's see what he says.
The Joe Show?
Give Joe the business?
That's right.
Cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe.
What is happening here?
Would you listen?
We'll give you a chance.
Thank you.
That's Joe.
That's Rooster.
And this is the Together We Shall podcast, episode 23. 23. What is happening down in Wilmington, North Carolina for you, sir?
Enjoying fall right now. Temps are down, humidity's down, bugs are going away. It's like an awesome climate right now. So that's exciting, making some outdoor fitness more enjoyable. But yeah, fall leading into Halloween, Marine Corps Marathon, then Thanksgiving, all that fun stuff right around the corner.
Yeah, dude, it's a fun time of year. In fact, we saw that happen just in the past couple of days where the temperatures were 80 and then suddenly we're in the 60s and 50s. And I was hearing some of our friends north were even messing with some 30s and some frost warnings and all that kind of stuff. So fun, but also a little nervous. You start thinking about some of the big races coming up and the chance of that temperature being, I don't know, dare I say, frigid. Are you ready? Be careful what you wish for.
I do like climates, like the four seasons, but I don't necessarily need the far end of either spectrum of that season. Like right now, it's like 50 degrees in the morning and like 76 in the afternoon. It's like that to me is almost like the perfect weather. If I could have that year round, yeah, I get it, right? California, Southern California, but like I would be a happy man.
Yeah, and the other spots where you can find that stuff, you have to give up sun in order to get those temperatures. Or I don't know, but to your point, 55 to 75, 24/7 with some sunshine. Yeah, dude. Maybe even 55 to 76. And I don't know, one listener knows what I just did there. But nevertheless, what did you get into over the weekend, man? Any fun stuff happening?
No, it's kind of status quo weekend around here. Nothing big and exciting.
We went to the Cards for Kids 8th annual at your old stomping ground, the Lynn Haven pub. I sent you a picture yesterday. What did you think when you saw your mom in the pub for selfie time?
I just thought I'm still not convinced that she hadn't been there. It doesn't make sense, but it also makes complete sense. So I don't know. I mean, I haven't been in there, and actually I was a couple months ago when we were up visiting you. We stopped by.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? I haven't been there in years. And you're like, wait, actually, it was 92 days ago. Anyway, The owner, Rob, says hello. Kyle German crushed the event. It was great. We gave a chair away to Ruth. You remember Ruth? It was cool because we, as we do with that event, we tell all the donors and all the players of the Texas Hold'em tournament, we tell them, you're going to get a chance to see exactly where your dollars are going. And then we roll the chair out and, I introduce them to Ruth and we teach them how to clap without making a lot of noise. You can just use your hands and not holler and yell. And I shared with them, I said, the rest of this is just going to go naturally. Just watch Ruth. And almost on cue, man, she looked over, she saw the chair, she hopped in the chair, smiled from ear to ear. She was just like, let's go race. It was like her comfort spot immediately. So just another great race. That was another great event. I think that was the 10th chair, 9th or 10th chair that we've given away through that Cards for Kids partnership. So anyway, it was a great weekend up here and ready to just kick off and crush into October. But what did you learn since the last time we talked, man? We had old fellows on here for episode 22. You got any tidbits, amazing discoveries?
Well, I was actually texting with him yesterday. So I'm trying out this, I guess, nutritional supplement, Athletic Greens. Not a sponsor yet. But it's just one of those things where it's one serving a day, and it's your multivitamin times a bazillion. It's all plant-based, vegan, but you're getting in this little 12-gram scoop, you're getting all your multivitamins, you're getting your daily fiber, prebiotic, probiotic, your daily vegetables, fruit, everything. It's this crazy thing. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And he was, Patty's like, you could just eat that by eating better. And I'm like, well, yeah, duh. But because I don't do that, this one scoop in the morning gives me everything I need, and I don't have to like mess with the pill bottles like
Yeah.
vitamin C, vitamin zinc. It's got it all.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Well,
his snark comment of why don't you just eat better?
yeah.
Duh.
Part of you is like, yeah, he's right. That gummit. That why did I even ask him what he thinks about it? It's probably. And are you sure this supplement is not a sponsor yet, bro? That was like
Yeah.
some pretty, pretty
It
rich
was
reviews.
it was one of those things too. It was like, hey, what do you think of this? Send. I'm gonna regret that. You could just eat better.
Yeah. For everybody who hasn't listened to episode 22, it was revealed that Pat Fellows is the guy in the world that, quote, has Joe's number. Not just his cell number, but he really knows how to give him the business. So, anyway, if you get some time, go check out 22. But 22 was last time. This time, we're getting into 23. And we have US Mail with us today. And I just want to tell you all a little bit about what US Mail means. He's going to tell us this whole story, but like we've been wanting to get him on the podcast for a good number of episodes now, but our timing just didn't work. And then his Facebook got hacked, and then he got a new Facebook, and then it got hacked. And so he's one of those guys that just social media, he has a big presence there, but at the same time, he never wants to be so tied to social media that it dictates his life. Well, that kind of sort of happened, and we get to see it play out. But anyway, Dave Goldstein, our ambassador up in South Jersey, and his son Josh, who might make an appearance or two during our chat, are with us today. So without further ado, U.S. Mail, Dave Goldstein, U.S. Army extraordinaire, dude, Iron Man. I could give all this stuff, but welcome to the show.
Oh, my pleasure being here.
It's been a little time coming, man. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, man. It's always fun talking with you guys, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. But it's like a prequel to our upcoming get together in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, indeed. We'll take this episode and share it with the folks in the Marine Corps family group on Facebook, a place where you're not currently active. I don't have a chance to meet you ahead of time. So what's up, dude? Is that crushing you, man, not being on it, or is it actually a little bit of reprieve? What?
Yeah, I kind of always wondered, like, sometimes Facebook's so annoying. I like to get off it, and be careful what you wish for. I'm off, and now I realize how much I miss it. I'm missing a lot of things. I'm missing a lot of people. Not the drama that goes on, but I miss seeing people and communicating and Messenger, and with Facebook comes Instagram, and I lost my Team Josh page, so there's a lot of stuff that I like to be busy with that I just can't do right now. So well, hopefully that day will come again soon.
Mark Zuckerberg, if somehow you listen to this podcast, can you help a brother out?
Give Dave his stuff back. So anyway, before we get too far going, Dave, tell everybody where you're coming to us from, and maybe why you think you're on the podcast. How about let's start with that.
Well, I'm coming from the great state of New Jersey. And let me just reiterate the South Jersey part by Philadelphia, not the North Jersey part by New York. I'm also the home of, let me just say, the birthplace of one Kim Rooster Rossiter. Right.
That is true.
Next town over from where I live. And, it's nice and cold up here today in the 40s, like you said. I think I'm on the podcast because I'm a kind of a crazy, adventurous kind of individual. I'm always on the go. I'm always looking for challenges. I've gone from, Army soldier to overweight world rank competitive eater, to, like you said, now I'm a multi-time Ironman. My big feat in life is pushing Josh. We're getting close to 100 races now. He's the superstar of the Philadelphia, New Jersey area, and life is good.
That's good, dude. That was a good little overview. And you're right. You're on here because you are up for a challenge and full of great energy. So welcome to the show. And for those of you that can see, if Dave moves to the side, you'll see Josh behind him. So if you ever hear some stuff going on, Is he going to sound off? Looked like he was about to say hello. What?
There you go.
Yeah, Josh in the house. So yeah, hey, well, without further ado, I noticed that Josh is back there. He's got his feeding tube hooked up. He's got his what's he sipping on? Some Ensure or something? I don't know. But it's Miller time, ladies and gentlemen. We got to jump right in. Miller time, that part of the show where everybody gets to grab their favorite beverage, whatever that might be. I'm going with Celsius again today, which is I think 2 in a row. Dave, what you got there? Core something?
Nice cold Powerade.
Powerade. Joe, what you sipping on, man? Care to share?
I too am sipping on a Celsius.
All right.
So that's, I mean, when the two co-hosts are drinking this, come be a sponsor.
Yeah, how about that? Come on, Celsius. Hey, but Josh, what's Josh going on? Dave, hook us up here. I always tell our guests it's Miller time, and I say you need to go and help everybody ensure that they can join us. So in this case, Josh is tube fed.
Josh said, all right,
Yep.
Josh, ready to drink? All right, there you go.
Perfect. Yeah.
Now says cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, Josh. That's fun, man. Was that the old kangaroo? I think is that the device y'all are using? What is that feeding thing in
Yeah,
back there?
Yeah.
Kangaroo, right? Who is also not a sponsor.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, fun. So now we're off to the races. Miller time is underway. That is exciting. Well, Dave, look, man, what we'd like to do is kind of shape this thing up, maybe go back a little bit, maybe kind of share with some folks. You mentioned the Army, but where were you born and raised in South Jersey? Then why'd you go to the Army? How long did you hang out? Eventually you met a lady named Sue. Give us some of those details.
Yeah, I born and raised until I was 8 years old in Philadelphia, and then we moved to Cherry Hill, New Jersey, where I grew up. I currently live in Voorhees, New Jersey, the next town over. So I basically, except for my time in the Army, I've stayed in the area most of my life. Joined the Army in 1990 during the Desert Storm, and didn't get a chance to go over, and spent some time in Fort Drum, New York, where I did meet my current wife, Sue. As a matter of fact, Saturday was 30 years from the day we met. So we were celebrating her birthday last Thursday and our meeting anniversary. She's not here at the moment, but we're still together and we're still having a good life. And she's becoming almost as badass as I am.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I definitely want to get into that, but I want to clarify two things because I was guilty of this before too. I said my current wife Lori, and you just said my current wife Sue. And when people re-listened my episode, they were like, "Well, your current wife, Lori. Yeah. Who's your other wife?" So
I most people don't know I was married for 1 year before Sue.
Yeah, so I didn't know that, and this is why the Together We Shall podcast is fun. You get to really deep dive on.
Second time's the charm.
Okay, second award. There you go. For those of you that can't see, Ryan just came onto the screen. Ryan, what's happening, man? Nothing at all. Do the Eagles play today? I don't know. Tell me about it.
Time to play.
4:25.
Who are they playing?
The Cardinals.
The Cardinals. There you go. Yeah, Ryan's been doing well stuff. He's been running and training, and he just did his first 5-mile run the other day. Just out of the blue, went outside and ran 5 miles. And he's a rider for a half marathon, but his goal some days to maybe do one on his own.
I love that, man, Ryan. I love those goals. How'd the 5-miler feel?
Good.
Are you sore today?
No.
What do you want to tell us about your dad? He's our guest today on the podcast. Is there anything we need to know about him? No. Okay. Well, thanks. Our listeners just decided to turn the whole podcast off.
We're not getting too much out of him.
Yeah, no, I tried. It was a valiant effort. Tell us a little bit more about what you do during the day. This is my fun part. I love what is it what you do? What do you do?
What do I do? Well, there's a reason I'm called the US Mail, M-A-L-E, as a competitive eater, because I am a mailman. So,
so U.S. Mail is a competitive eater and a mailman. So all the U.S. Mail.
That's right. I'm not just a good-looking dude. That's why I'm U.S. Mail. I mean, Elvis wrote a song about me. There's a song called U.S. Mail. But I do go out and deliver mail during the week to all the fine people of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. and
Yeah.
doing that for 24 years now.
Well, thank you for that, man. That's a noble service. I sincerely
Yeah.
appreciate you.
So it's a fun job. It's nice to be outdoors most of the time. Most of the time.
How are the? Oh, Josh had something to say about that. He's like, whoa. Yeah. Oh wait, did Tom Brady score a touchdown? Is that what's happening back there?
Commercial.
Well, so hey, man, can you give us like? This is the part this is want to make me laugh here. Can you give us a cool story as a U.S. mail? I want to get a U.S. mailman, USPS fun, cool story, and then I'd love to hear a little bit more about this eating thing because I know about it, but our listeners might not.
I really have no stories as being a mailman. I mean, one. I mean, the worst. You always dream. Okay, when I was young, I became a mailman. I'm like, all right, man. There's lots of single women at home. They want to invite the U.S. mail in for a cold iced tea or something. But no. I mean, my story is I once had a certified letter for an 80-year-old woman wearing a robe, and as she was signing, the robe kind of fell out. And yeah, it's an image I cannot forget. That's my story. I have nothing good.
That's
Never
fair,
been bit
I
by a
guess.
dog. Never been, had a problem. It's just easygoing day every day. Just listen to my tunes and do my thing.
So there's a question like what do you listen to? Like what I could admit I could picture it probably just like anywhere you're driving regularly, right? Like the weather's going to dictate like man it's nice out, or if it's raining cuz US mail always delivers. So like what's your go-to like playlist
Well, let me,
podcast?
let me make it known too. We don't wear headphones because that's unsafe and against regulation. But I do have a little speaker that's Bluetooth to my phone. So when I'm doing my driving, I like to put on a little classic rock. That's my big thing. I'm very big in the 60s, 70s classic rock. If it's a miserable day, I put on Hair Nation for some 80s metal because that was my teenage years. Motley Crue and the Kiss and all that good stuff.
I like how you threw out the like safety thing with the headphones. Because I always like worry about mailmen and women like UPS, FedEx, like I'm like, shut that door. I'm scared.
I'm also a union shop steward, so I have to point out that we don't wear headphones. So if anybody's watching this, they don't correct me later on.
Dude, of course you're a union shop steward. I mean, of course you are. What does that even really mean? You're the safety police? Like, what's up?
No, you always hear about the term going postal. Management and letter carriers are two separate entities. We're cats and dogs. They try to make our life miserable, and we just go to do our job. And as a shop steward, I got to know the laws and everything of our rights, and then I have to go in to a meeting with them when they're being disciplined, and I have to come up with a grievance. It's like a lawyer kind of thing, and I'm not afraid of management, never have been. So it takes a little, you have to be very strong personality to be in this position.
Yes, and they got the right guy for the job. Speaking of speaking of like safety and like a living and abiding by the law and the rules of the United States Postal Service, it begs the question. I got to go here. I know you have a YouTube page, and on it, I've seen you do things, competitive eating things. How in the heck can you not wear an earphone, but you can go on in your little postal truck and eat a whole Domino's pizza in like 37 seconds? How is that like safe?
Well, we do get a 30-minute lunch break. We were not paid. So, if I were to be questioned on why I'm doing something in my mail truck, well, it's my 30 minutes to do what I please. So my videos they're quick, and several minutes long, and I get set up and I do my thing, and that's it.
There are, I mean, I've seen a handful. I've seen many of your videos, obviously, but there's a couple in the food truck. I think there was like one with lettuce, and you like soaked with like hot sauce or a head of lettuce. Like I can't. I honestly show people some of your videos probably at least monthly. I love the beer mile one. That's great. The falling right away.
Yeah, that wasn't planned either. I did trip over my own foot to start the run.
What's the craziest thing you ever crushed in the mail truck? Like on your 30-minute break, what video is out there that we could point to? Or maybe there's no video because you didn't record it, but which one comes to mind when I'm like in the truck, 30-minute lunch break? What's the best one out there?
Oh, eating a dozen eggs raw.
All right, dude. So if anybody's
Selling everything one at a time.
No, the shell.
Oh, you missed that one? Oh, it's a classic.
Maybe not.
A dozen eggs, one egg at a time. They ate the whole thing as as the yolk was coming out of my mouth and eating the shells, you kept crunching, and it was a fun time.
and it was a whole dozen raw eggs. How long did it take?
About 3 minutes, if that.
Bro, jeez. All right, I'm probably gonna try to get a clip of it and throw it in right here just because it's funny.
With the first egg.
But for everybody that wants to go check it out that's listening, YouTube,
US Mailman 68.
okay, US MALE 68. But be forewarned, there is some stuff in there that is wild. Okay, cool, dude. So that's fun.
There's a video of you two eating competitively against each other.
Me and Dave,
On your
he didn't, but he wouldn't have put that on his YouTube channel.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's on my phone. It can be on YouTube.
Yeah, it wasn't very competitive though, was it?
Oh gosh, Dave.
I
I'm
mean,
sure
you were competitive, but yeah, Rooster,
He's
put a valiant
Dave.
effort in.
He's world ranked, bro. Like he is
Yeah.
like a legit, world renowned. You once, So of course I got crushed. What were we eating anyway? Shrimp.
Yeah, like it was a set number of shrimp, mini sweet corns, and potatoes.
Dude, all I know is I got crushed. I'm sitting here taking the shells off the shrimp. Dave's just like,
I just eat them, man.
Anyway, Dave, I have something called diverticulitis from bad decisions for my gut health. How do you not have diverticulitis in your colon?
I might not know it yet. I mean, I was recently hospitalized a few months ago, and my intestines just shut down.
Okay.
Yeah, I had something Father's Day actually. I started getting the worst pains that I thought was maybe another kidney stone, but it was in my gut, and I had hospitalized, and they put me on morphine right away and did a CAT scan and figured out I had something called an ileus, where your intestines just stop.
Okay.
So it may have been an infection or something, but it's kind of scary. Like, okay, I also have esophagus problems from all my competitive eating years, and releasing the food afterwards. But other than that, I'm healthy as can be. I'm still have the iron stomach. Don't have the capacity I once had. But
Yeah, no, we're not advocating that everybody go out there and eat some raw eggs, but it is extremely entertaining, and so thank you for entertaining us. But we would also say that the way that you are now, you've leaned into health. You're in your fighting weight at somewhere around 200 pounds. Just finished up a full Ironman down in Chattanooga, if memory serves me right. And in fact, that's interesting. Pat Fellows and Dave Goldstein, episode 22 and 23. Both of you are in Chattanooga. So that's your most recent big thing that you did. And now you're more of a healthy lifestyle. But like, what gave you kind of the motivation to make that shift? Pat Fellows talked about what worked for him, nights of guitar playing and grunge music. And then he got to a shift where he said, enough is enough. What happened with you? How'd you make a shift to healthy living?
it was real simple. I mean, I was always a physical guy when I was a teenager, and even up to the Army, I used to lift weights and I'd run. But the military, really changed my thought about running, and I hated it. And then when I got out of the Army, I just got sloppy, and I was eating heavy and just not exercising. I was the only mailman who would gain weight. 10 meals a day, and I saw a picture of myself one time at my max weight of about 280. I looked at myself and said, "Oh my God, I gotta slow down." I also have a young daughter, and I have my sons to be there for in the future. So I just decided to lose a little weight, and then a lot of my friends were doing a race that May of 2013, the Broad Street 10 miler. So I said, something, I'm going to train all winter. I'm going to do that race, and I lost 60 pounds. Did the Broad Street run, knocked it out in under 9-minute miles. I felt great, and then I started working my way. After the summer, I did a half marathon, killed it. 8 weeks later, the Philly Marathon, killed it. I haven't stopped running since. I train all the time. I don't indulge as much as I used to with meals and snacks, and just trying to be there for my kids and my wife as we get older.
Earlier, you mentioned that you were in a position, where you like to run with Josh and Ryan's running now. But when you found your love of running and your switch to more healthy living, you were running solo. How and why and what happened that changed that?
Well, we're all a big fan of the Hoyts. We all knew of them and followed them, and I idolized them. And I started running. It's never dawned on me, well, hell, I can have Josh out there too. Until 2 years later, I thought about it, contacted the Hoyts. They got me in touch with you, and you said, hey, let's make it happen. Well, get the fundraiser up for the chair, knock that out, and in October of 2015, I got the chair. You said, why don't you just bring Josh down and run the race with him? I was like, but I haven't pushed him yet. I was like, and it was the most. Let me say, out of almost 30 marathons I've done to date, that first Marine Corps marathon is still my PR, and it was the most incredible uh, burst of adrenaline and pride that I ever had having him out there on the course with me. And I said, except for bad weather, I'll never run without Josh again.
That circle of contacting the Hoyts, getting a chair, running your first marathon with Josh, super Ironman now, ambassador extraordinaire, US mail always.
It was all meant
That's
to be.
fun. Yeah, man, it's really fun. It's been a great fun 7 years. Of course, and not really. I'm not going to use the word irony, but of course, that Marine Corps Marathon, that was Ainsley's last race, and you had a chance to meet her. I got a chance to meet Josh. I felt the two of them could have did some trailblazing had we met a little bit earlier. Just wow, their energy, so inviting and fun. But what did you remember about that race? You said it was the fastest one. What did you remember about the course?
I was just focused on Josh though. I'm just looking at him and I'm talking to him and just seeing that the word you used, joy. His joy on his face, smiling the whole time, and he learned right away to put that fist pump up there for fist pumps for people. And I just I didn't want that after 26 miles.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a powerful run, man. It was a great day. It was there were PRs all over that course that day. Um, what great weather! Just all the stars aligned, man. It was a great time. And you're coming back up to Marine Corps here in a couple of weeks, but Sue's coming with you. What on earth is going on there? She's been training so much. What's the plan this year?
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky, man. Josh is running, and Ryan's been doing 5Ks, and he's shooting for bigger goals. And now my daughter, who's 13, has done 3 triathlons in the last year, and she's a swimmer on a swim team. And then my wife, she got the running bug 5 years ago watching me, so she's got into it slowly but surely, and she's been on this great plan the last year or so, dropping weight, gaining muscle. Now she's running marathons like they're nothing. So she said, if I go back to the Marine Corps, she's going with me. So, yes, it's excited to have a family affair.
No, that's gonna be great, man. There's gonna be a lot of energy in the air there in that corral. That's awesome, man. To be able to do, not only the events with your wife and your son, but your daughter's out there. I know that Jessica went with you to the Ironman.
To see her out there every moment I could, it wasn't many moments, but when I saw her, and especially on the run, when I had to go to the second loop and I was blistered and I was hurting, and she gave me a big hug and told me how proud she was of me and I'm doing great. And that just gives me a little bit more energy to, okay, I'm going to get to that finish line no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm not an elite athlete, but I'm not going to quit. And we start a race, we finish it.
I don't know, man. To do 100 miler and an Ironman and all, dude, that sounds pretty elite to me.
It's
Yeah.
I like eating a dozen eggs. I don't recommend it to anybody. It's tough. I mean, I put my I have we talk about medical problems. I do have a bad problem with arthritis, as we have talked about. I've had that for many, many decades, and it's getting worse and worse. My hips were both replaced in 2018. My knees are next. They're just shot, and I get injections every once in a while. They don't always work, so it's hard. But I'm a fighter. I'm strong up here, and I just go out and do what I can. Representing the 50-year-old guys, and with just saying, hey, anything's possible.
That's some might be listening to that and say, man, that's pretty crazy. Like, why would you continue to put your body through this? And so for all those folks, like, I got it, represent the 50-year-olds, but why? Why do you keep showing up at these crazy endurance events and doing this stuff?
For the love of it, I enjoy it. It's like, what else? What's my other alternative? I mean, I know I can go out and just continue to swim and run. I mean, swim and bike, but I love triathlons. I love running half and full marathons. And, I can deal with this. Like my surgeon says, if you can deal with the discomfort, keep doing it. You can't ruin your knees any more than they are. And I'm just going to do it as long as I can. I mean, my endurance racing is probably going to come to an end in a couple of years. I might have to go to smaller things or maybe not even run anymore. Who knows? But as long as I'm able to, I'm going to do it.
So that's it.
Able being the key word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you said too, like the weight loss journey. I'm sure there's a little fear naturally of like, if I slow down, I could, gain some more weight and get more unhealthy. So like you said, doing this for, Josh, Ryan, Jessica, and Sue is huge. But it's also the same thing. Like, there's some people that like he kept competitive eating, you know, and that's not great for you either, I could imagine. But that's what they like to do. It completes them, makes them happy, yada yada. So yeah, if you can't do any more damage to your knees, I guess, then keep running.
No, gaining weight is one of my biggest fears. I mean, I have a love of food. I like to eat. I'm not going to deny that. And sometimes my willpower isn't as good as I want it to be. So I have to stay active. Doesn't mean I can keep eating more, but yeah, being active is key. And yes, I do it for I have to be there for Josh. We have some more big plans coming. We have big goals.
Any big goals that you want to share here? Exclusive information?
My wife and I just had a long, serious talk yesterday, but I think we're going to try and go for the full Ironman in Maryland in 2024. That's an exclusive right here.
Yeah, heard it here first.
Yeah, I did 100 miler. I completed another full Ironman, which I said was my last, but I haven't heard those words, Joshua Goldstein, you were an Ironman. And I think he wants to hear that. And that would be the creme de la creme of my Mount Rushmore of races.
So at this point, is it safe to say that you're not going to do any more crazy endurance things unless Josh is with you and he's healthy enough to do so? Is that where you're leaning towards now?
Correct. I mean, I'm
Okay.
pretty much done with mostly done with trail running because it's just too tough for me. I probably won't do any full Ironmans on my own, although Chattanooga was a great course. And I would like to go there on fresh legs, but my next full Ironman will be if I'm still physically able to, and we can work out all the logistics of making it safe and good for him. We will be doing Maryland 2024.
All right, man.
I'll be one of those few father son or duo teams that get out there and do a full Ironman. It's very very small class of people. I like
Yeah,
to be
you're,
out-
abs-
I like to
you're
be one of those-
absolutely You're absolutely right. I mean, we just saw the first mother-daughter team, Team Liza, accomplish world championship out in Kona just this past weekend. That was their second effort in Hawaii, and they accomplished it. Dick Hoyt, he and Rick tried it 6 times, only to finish it twice. And of course, the Peace Brothers, they've accomplished Kona, but I think they tried more than once. I'm pretty sure they tried twice. Yeah. So I mean, you're right, Dave. It's a big feat and fresh legs, fresh everything to be able to accomplish that, man. And so, if there's a dude that's going to do it, it's Josh Goldstein and his crazy father, US Mail. Yeah. All right, dude. Well, I mean, we will be cheering for you, man, and I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I want to take us back though. How old's Josh now?
Josh is 27 years old.
So take us back 27 years ago, man. This is the part of the podcast where we got to make sure that it's not all rose gardens here, man. Like you got to this point right now where you're aspiring to take your son in a 140.6, but there were different feelings 27 years ago. Care to share for those folks that might be feeling some of those feelings today?
Absolutely nothing to hide. Josh was born, and right away we knew there was some issues. He got rushed to Children's Hospital because he couldn't go to the bathroom, make a bowel movement, and we thought that was it. And send him to Children's Hospital for some surgery. And the genetic team noticed there were some different awkward movements by him over that week he was there. And they did some testing and found out he had something called Joubert syndrome, which is back then was very rare. There wasn't that many cases around the country of that, and it scared the heck out of us. But unfortunately, Josh, between he had something called Hirschsprung's disease too, which is why he couldn't go to the bathroom, and that caused a lot of distress for us too, because he had colostomy, and it also causes some delays as well as the Joubert syndrome. So he really had the perfect storm going there, and it was hard for my wife and I. We were young, first time parents, knew nothing about this syndrome, couldn't find anything, and we just didn't know how to handle it. And it made me angry in life. It made me very upset that my son, who I couldn't wait to have, was I'm trying to use the right words here, of course. We always talk about using the right term, labels, but he was disabled, and it kind of bothered me, and it kind of hurt me, and it made me an angry person. It caused a lot of tension between my wife and I, and she was living in the hospital most of the first 8 months with Josh, surgery after surgery, and at 8 months old, he got so sick. I was home. I'd gone 2 weeks of National Guard training, and I was home with pneumonia, and the surgeon calls me because nobody else can call me, and he said I would start making funeral plans right away. Josh is about less than 24 hours from passing, because he had a bad infection when they tried reversing that colostomy for the first time. And I had somebody pick me up, and I just crawled to the hospital. And when I got there, an hour and a half later, a miracle happened. They figured something out, and they were draining this infection from his body, and he survived. And I always said, for several years, I always thought, maybe he shouldn't have survived. Maybe it's not good because it's not quality of life he has, and it's hard for us. Now I look at it totally different. But it was very hard. And then we had Ryan, several years later, and he was diagnosed with the same thing, the Joubert syndrome. So having two children with a special needs was very hard. You hear all about it, and from your own experience, Rooster. But we loved Josh no matter what, and we always did whatever it took to do the normal things with him that we could. And he always has a smile on his face. He's always positive, and that's what makes us more appreciative of what we do today.
Well, dude, I really appreciate your vulnerability and sharing those details. The idea of going from such a place of anger and resentment and tension with you and your spouse to then having another child, and maybe some of the same things happen, after that second diagnosis, and then fast forward the clock so many years later, and you're like in this joyful, positive space. Like, what the hell do you tell, young Dave Goldstein and his young wife, if you were to go back in time and stand before them? I mean, how did you do that? Like, that's the statistics say y'all should have been divorced and a long, long time ago. Like, how do you overcome that?
I've done that. I've talked to people with young children, and they seem hopeless and not sure. And we just tell them, look, you gotta work together as a couple. You gotta make decisions together. You have to be positive about things, because you being angry, you being confused, nothing's going to change what your child has. Nothing's going to change that. I mean, obviously they'll have therapy and they can grow and things can get a little better, but you can't hate life for it. It's I don't like when people use the term special kids are given to special parents. I find that to be a big bunch of bullshit. But we were strong enough overall to overcome everything and work things out and make our lives more positive and better. And we do try to tell young people that when we meet them, especially now, with the Ainsley Angels thing, we meet young couples, and we have had some conversations with them, and they do appreciate, we try to help them as far as learning about benefits in the state that aren't going to be told to them unless they learn. So we're trying to be educators as well, and take our, everything we've learned and pass it on to help them.
It's we say educate, advocate, celebrate. I think the education piece for parents to parents is one of the best things that I see within our organization, right? I mean, getting Josh out there and crossing a finish line's great, but seeing how an older parent can mentor, coach, guide a younger parent is huge. I mean, we've all talked to those caregivers that are like, I don't know what happens at 18 and 21 and all these certain age markers in my state, and I lose custody type of thing, and you got to apply for this, and I don't know how those books are, but from all the stories I've heard from members of the organization, like it's tough and it requires a lot of navigation. So by doing that yourself, both of you, you're able to help others. I mean, you look at people like Kendra, who had to like research it across 50 states to figure out the best state for them to move to. Like it's just
Yeah.
crazy that it stinks that it's not as easy as it should be type of thing.
Not at all, man. Nobody's writing you letters saying this is what you got to do. This is who you have to talk to. These are the benefits coming to you. I mean, we were lucky at a young age. When Josh had therapists and Ryan had therapists, and they would say, "Hey, did you ever hear of this place? They don't tell you about it, but if you can apply for this benefit, or you can apply to get a van, or whatever." And we were like, "Really?" And you have so and then the kids are older, and we learned about guardianship and all the steps you got to take, because if you don't have guardianship for your kids, that can be a very bad thing, and we know some people with kids over 18 years old that never even thought about guardianship. I'm like, look, you take your son to the hospital, even though he can't speak, they're going to say, well, he's going to make the decision. So it's there's no book. It's just
Yeah. Shout out to those therapists for recommending things.
they were
Peggy.
in the beginning.
Peggy Wolf. We
Yeah, Peggy's on the short list of future guests. In fact, she just hit me up last week, Joe, and she's like, I'm ready to come on the show. And I'm like, well, let's get it done before Marine Corps, because you guys rock doc work to do. So we'll see if she can get you. But yeah, to Joe's point, like the therapists of the world who become advocates and educators, and then they empower the likes of Sue and Dave Goldstein, who raise their hand and say, we're going to raise our children in South Jersey, and then we're going to bring an adaptive sports program to South Jersey. And then we're going to educate all the people in that entity. And it's just this spiral snowball effect that can allow, the I don't know which way is up 25-year-old special needs dad to find some light, to find some tools. So Dave, I mean, thank you, dude, for allowing me to pressure you into bringing Ainsley's Angels to South Jersey.
Yeah, you had to twist my arm for a bit. I know I was hesitant at first. You called me 2 months after the Marine, not even 2 months, and you're like, hey, how about a chapter in South Jersey? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can run a nonprofit, and where do I go? And I said, all right, why? You don't know if you can do something unless you try. And if I fail, I fail. But I'm pretty proud of what we have here. It's a hard job, and I have to say it really is hard juggling my personal life with working out and doing my training with the Ainsley's Angels. And I try to do more than the bare minimum. I try to be out there as much as I can. I always have more goals to do with Ainsley's Angels in South Jersey. And I do have a great crew of, with the running clubs and my triathlon club and the support. I mean, not just financially, but physically, the people that come out and do it. And it's great. And finding riders is hard too, but it's challenging. It's fun.
I love how you said how to twist my arm. As I remember, like almost like it was yesterday, Rooster brought you into our ambassador meeting, and you were like not an ambassador, and he's like, just see what it's all about. You'll be fine. And you're like, he sat in the back and was like, oh shit, all right, man.
Yeah. Not happening.
Yeah, it was
7
just
years
not
later,
good.
here we are.
It's just the thing, though, man. It's Dave. To me, it was like this is the right guy to bring this to his community, and it's for all the things that we've talked about throughout this episode. He's forward leaning. He's an inspiration to people who see the crazy stuff that he does. But at the end of the day, he's survived. He's demonstrated the resiliency and the transition of anger and resentment to positivity, love, and joy. And that is bright and it's attractive. And if you're not doing it there in South Jersey, Dave, who's bringing the program there? Like, come on.
I don't think if I didn't bring it here, nobody else would.
That's
I-
it.
It's tough. I mean, people like to be involved, but they don't want to be involved. And Jersey's a tough state. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and there are other communities like that, and our 70 plus ambassadors across the hundreds of communities that they impact across the country all comes down to that pivotal moment when they say, yes, I'm going to go ahead and take a leap of faith. And we talked about that in these podcasts about the leap of faith, about jumping into the deep end. And ultimately, we called the podcast Together We Shall. Because as you alluded to, Dave, like you can't do it alone.
I have a lot of great friends that are runners that participate, and sometimes we're on a run and I'll talk to them about it and say, I really could use somebody to maybe take a little load off my shoulder and do this. And they're like, we'll get it out there. We'll work on it. So I'm 7 years into Ainsley's Angels. And I got so much to learn and so much to do. And it's a job, but the wheel's always turning. What can I do next? Or what can I do to convince people to be more actively involved?
Well, the first step is getting an iPhone so we can help you do some things a little easier. But yeah, I mean, you definitely have one of those communities with your tri clubs and running clubs and all that that we've seen the successes that brings participation wise and fundraising wise. Like, once you get back on social media, I mean, you share links and bam, like, you guys are getting chairs and big donations and adding to your fleet up there. It's a solid community for sure.
It's good to be the US Mail. I know people.
And I mean, you always deliver, so that's it.
US Mail always delivers.
When I first started my ambassadorship, I tried to use that US Mail name to push that along to people, saying, by the way, you might be a fan of me as a competitive reader, but I got something better here you can, invest your time and money into.
Dude, I mean, sincerely, thank you for finding some time on your football Sunday. And Josh back there, Josh still doing Miller time?
What time, Josh? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh, I'm excited to see you in a couple weeks, man. Washington D.C. Marine Corps Marathon. You ready?
You ready to run? You ready to run? Yeah, he's ready.
Yeah,
He's very ready.
very ready. Did Ryan leave? Is he still there?
Here.
All right, dude. Well, thanks for listening, bro.
Watching
we
the game.
Yeah. Is there anything we forgot to cover, Ryan? Is there anything we forgot to cover?
No.
Oh, we covered it all. Perfect. Hey, what do you tell us about your dad? Tell us about your dad whenever he's at a Philadelphia Eagles game. Like, how would you imitate him? Do your best impression.
And we worked the game 2 weeks ago, so go ahead. How do I act?
How does he act?
What do I do? Imitate me.
Chance.
Chant? I chant?
Yeah.
Well, how? So.
Well, thanks, Ryan. That was fun.
Start singing "Fly Eagles Fly."
He's chaos.
Do you like whatever this would be called? Like,
Yeah, you got the Eagles fight song and yelling. And, yeah, it's there's nothing better than a live football game in Philly.
We're getting ready to wrap out the episode. Like, is there anything maybe that you want to leave folks with, or maybe you have a weekly word that you're going to use? Let's do that. Between now and Marine Marathon weekend, what word or couple words are you going to lean into as the big bright light in South Jersey?
Well, one of my favorite words that you've put out there before is grateful, because over my last 9 years of racing and health and family time and seeing my family grow, I'm grateful that I'm still able to do this. I'm grateful that my family has followed my path in racing and being healthy and just loving the sport. So that's the word. Always grateful.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that's a good one. Always grateful. I love that. Almost like always faithful, which is the Marine Corps Semper Fidelis Latin version. And, I try to get some Marine Corps Army, back and forth here. Does the Army have a slogan?
Army strong.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Hashtag Army strong.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Hey, what do you think about that, Joe? He's got grateful. You got a weekly word that's going to take you through the rest of October?
I will go with safety. And the reason I'm going with safety is letting everyone know that Ainsley's Angels is a safe place. So those of you that have joined know this, but those of you out there that are potentially interested to join, this is your safe space, whether you're a runner, rider, guardian, whatever. Come on, come hang out.
Yeah, that's a heck of an invitation.
True.
Starts with an invitation, man. So I'm going to go with that invitation. Just like I invited Dave Goldstein to come to DC, just like I invited Dave Goldstein to come and be a South Jersey ambassador. It starts with an invitation. So I challenge all the listeners to invite somebody into their space, invite somebody into some of the good things out there in our world, because you can brighten somebody's day and really help them show up next to them. So Dave, hey man, is there anything you want to leave our listeners with as we close out this episode? I had a blast. I know Joe will say the same. I don't know that. Let me start that over. So hey Dave, is there anything you want to leave our listeners with, man, as we wrap out the episode?
Well, like you said, like Joe said, Ainsley Angel is a safe place, and anybody's welcome to come out and be included in what we do. And it's something we take pride in giving the opportunity for people to do. And I hope that the people in New Jersey and Philly continue to trust in me and trust in Amanda right over the bridge there, and give us the opportunity to bring something joyful to the children and to the parents as well. And we'll continue to do it as long as it happens.
Yeah, man. Sounds like a little together we shall right there. So
Yeah,
thanks
absolutely.
again, brother.
I'm grateful for those invitations.
Yeah, brother. We'll keep them coming. We got all kind of things intact for you.
You got it.
You know what? I got enough.
He's in charge.
We're done. This was good.
Yeah, we're done here. The structure of this building has reached its capacity.
Find your people, and if they make you feel sexy, even better.